Now, on matters of health, a welcome fight back by the supporters of Dr. Charlie Teo, who has dedicated his 35-year career to the most difficult brain surgery cases that other neurosurgeons can't or won't take on. He has treated 11,000 patients, has countless others seeking his help. He's raised more than $51 million for brain cancer research. He's established the largest tumour bank in the Southern Hemisphere. He's a world leader, and many of the world's top neurosurgeons vouch for Dr. Teo. But last year, the New South Wales Medical Council imposed a series of conditions on his practice after jealous informants made allegations that Charlie Teo gave patients false hope. Dr. Teo rightly believes he is the victim of an unjustified witch hunt, and he's been virtually blackballed here and overseas. But there are 6 well-respected surgeons from around the globe who've given references to the Medical Council of New South Wales in support of Dr. Charlie Teo, and they include Stanford Medicine's Associate Professor of Neurosurgery. As one Sydney man said after his daughter was given her own death sentence, quote, "I challenge any of Dr. Teo's critics to tell me what they would do if they received the diagnosis we did. If they were told this is the end of the road for their mum, daughter or sister, they would come running to find Dr. Teo," unquote. Charlie Teo should be allowed back immediately to do what he does best, give hope where things seem hopeless. I mentioned last week that the political tide is turning around the world. The Italians went to the polls at the weekend, and it appears that Italy will have its first government headed by a woman, Giorgia Meloni. She's 45 years old, Giorgia Meloni. She created the party the Brothers of Italy with a handful of allies 10 years ago. She now faces all the economic and military crises faced by the West, but at least her thinking gives hope. The Italian economy is the 3rd largest in the Eurozone, but it's saddled with debt, 150% of GDP. She's campaigned on a platform of low taxes, an end to mass immigration, Catholic family values, and an assertion of Italy's national interests abroad. Of course, Italy is historically unstable politically. They've had almost 70 governments since 1946. Giorgia Meloni was raised by a single mother in a working-class suburb, and she rails against what she calls LGBT lobbies, woke ideology and the violence of Islam. She's a Donald Trump supporter. The political tide is turning, as it seems also to be happening in New South Wales. A recent poll shows that the coalition's primary vote in New South Wales is now at 30%, a 12-point drop since the last election. Premier Perrottet was criticised by 45% of the voters, and the figures suggest that Labor would win an election in New South Wales if the polling figures were reflected on polling day. But this is what happens when you go woke and go left and you're supposed to be a Conservative government. Well, we won't be woke tonight, I can tell you. Plenty on the agenda that will interest you. Stay with us. You are with ADH, and I'm Alan Jones.